London, England, and another look at Tower Bridge as 11,000 plus pack Olympia Hall to see English hero Prince Naseem Hamed take on Vuyani Bungu in one of the biggest challenges of his career. Earlier this evening, you heard Larry Merchant say the consensus of boxing fans who want Hamed's block knocked off may have reached critical mass. And you heard George Foreman say great people are always going to be subjected to great criticism. So can Hamed turn this thing around and win back his once vast following? Prince Naseem Hamed faces a dilemma. His predicament, trying to convince skeptics he's still all he hyped himself to be, the greatest boxing showman since Muhammad Ali, even though his own actions inside the ring have not fulfilled that prophecy.
I believe one day I may be called a legend.
The problem right down the line with Naz is that he set the standard and said, he told us all that he would be the greatest fighter ever, a legend. He's going to knock them all out, and he's going to be better than Muhammad Ali. But because he set the standard, then he just asked for trouble.
In 4 fights since this dramatic seesaw win over Kevin Kelly in December '97, Hamed has found it difficult to recreate that unforgettable excitement.
I don't want to be getting dropped just to cause an unbelievable excitement and drama for the crowd and for the TV. I know you're begging for it. I ain't got a problem with your guys begging for it. It's just that you've got to realise that my life is on the line every time I step in that ring, and I've always said it's the loneliest place in the world in that ring.
Criticism escalates, both in America and in Great Britain. And Naz himself has stated that English fans don't embrace him as a champion. They just want to knock him down.
People got used to seeing him knock other fighters over, and as he's stepped up in standard, he can't put them away in 2 or 3 rounds. He's been made to struggle a bit. He looked ordinary against McCullough.
Prince Naseem Hamed on the verge of being forced to go the distance in a title fight for the first time in his career.
He caught a disaster against England.
Awfully confused tonight, standing around trying to do what they told him to do.
And in the last fight against Soto, that was just a mess.
There'll be a lot of boos when the bell sounds at the end of round 12.
I would agree that my last 3, whatever, as many as you want to bring on. I mean, I agree that my performances have not been up to standards the way they should have been. I think I've had my fair share of criticism from the American press through friends of mine in America say that British press are the worst press in the world.
There has been a feeling that the British press have been a bit hard on Naseem. We're not after his blood, we're not waiting for him to lose. We reflect what people think on a fight. If Naz doesn't like it, personally he can lump it.
The main thing that they've got to realise is I always retain my title. I'm a pure winner. 33 fights and 33 wins, 29 knockouts. I'm on my 14th defence.
And he's still defending himself after 5 years as a champion, earning more money than any featherweight in history. But Naz knows he must revamp a tarnished image, something he promises he'll address after tonight.
Only recently I've said that I'm going to start toning down entrances. I feel that I'm going to tone it down in the way that I just want to get to that ring a little bit faster than I am doing, to get in there and do my business.
He's got to the stage that to achieve the legendary status he desires, he's actually got to do it in the ring.
Perhaps a maturing Prince Naseem is finally listening to his critics. This time around, he claims to be searching for substance rather than relying on style.
I've never had a plan in my life before a fight. I'm talking about start to finish plan. The viewers this time are going to see some wicked combinations and just a stronger, more focused featherweight champion in the world.
Tonight, Prince Naseem Hamed takes a major step toward redefining his career and erasing the memory of his lackluster performances. Minutes from now, we'll find out if Naz has begun his transformation and whether he can truly live up to his own hype. Well, George, I think the British writers accurately make the point. He built the fire of expectation, which has made him not only the world's most famous featherweight, but a man who makes more money for individual fights than other featherweights have made in their entire careers. So, given all that, is he now obligated to at least go out and try to provide a spectacular performance?
Let's face it, even Muhammad Ali once told me when I was arguing with him about, he said, look, I used to make all these predictions, but I never knew what was going to happen. They just happened. Then later on, these predictions, he said, they're going to catch up with me one day. And finally, they did catch up with him. But you don't know what's going to happen in that ring. Every time you get in there, you just hope you come out alive and the nose isn't that far off.
So you're saying if your responsibility to entertain between fights may take you to stardom, your responsibility once you get into the ring is only to win?
You just got to give it your best, because it's always a greater probability that you may not even be able to walk out of there and be able to pronounce your name again. You better get in there and try to win.
All right. Larry Merchant, you believe there are a lot of people who want to see Hamed's block knocked off. Is Vuyani Bungu the man to do it?
Well, perhaps we can, excuse me, get a clue from Bungu the boy. Because when he was a boy in the poorest of poor townships in South Africa, he subsisted on a diet of bread and tea, except for one day a month when his mother came home from a job as a domestic with a few scraps of food. And as a schoolboy, he would turn away from his schoolmates at lunchtime and pretend to eat lunch from a lunch bag, because there was no lunch in there, only the stones he had gathered. Now he is regarded as the best fighter his country has ever produced, receiving telephone calls of encouragement from Nelson Mandela. This is a man who is not going quietly into the London night any more than he did into the East London South Africa night, Jim.
He's also an exceptionally busy fighter who tends to get better as the fight goes on. And that's part of the challenge that we'll be facing Prince Naseem as he comes into the ring. Here's the tail of the tape between Naseem Hamed and Vuyani Bungu. You can see that Bungu, at 33 years old, is at an advanced age, particularly for a smaller fighter. 5-inch height advantage. All of Naz's opponents have height advantages. A 3-inch reach advantage for Bungu. He weighed in a half-pound under the limit and agreed to step on our unofficial scale tonight at 134 pounds. Prince Naseem Hamed would not step on our scale, so we don't know what he weighs, although one of his brothers told us that he believes he left the hotel weighing about 133 pounds. Punch stat numbers, Larry.
Here you'll see that Bungu can be extremely active. He's going to have to keep the pressure on while maintaining his very good defense. Power punch is a big advantage for Hamed. He's a much bigger puncher. Bungu is accustomed to winning wars of attrition.
Rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Prince Naseem Hamed Vuyani Bungu fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using the unified rules of the Association of Boxing Commissions. There is no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight. You cannot be saved by the bell in any round, and we go back to our normal 10-point must scoring system. Jim.
Vuyani Bungu comes from what he describes as a boxing community in South Africa. He once trained for nearly a year in Detroit and actually lived at the home of Emmanuel Stewart, one of the 2 men who trained Prince Naseem Hamed. Stewart, I guess, didn't see Bungu's eventual world championship potential, Larry.
He told me about an hour ago that when he read in the newspapers that Bungu had defeated Kennedy McKinney, American gold medalist, undefeated champion, he was shocked. He didn't realize what he had there. That was before Bungu had become a champion.
Bungu has a medicine man traveling with him, and that's the gentleman who is in the ring right now. When we asked exactly what it was the medicine man does for Vuyani, one of Bungu's handlers said to us, he makes a lot of noise, and that's exactly what he's doing right now. Proud gentleman, Vuyani Bungu, 37 wins. The 2 losses, both early in his career. The second of those 2 losses, 8 years ago. 19 KOs. He's a little underpowered. At least he was at 122 pounds. So you suspect he will be also 4 pounds farther north at 126. And now here comes the entrance of Prince Naseem Hamed, who has said to us that he'll have a special, spectacular entrance tonight for his London fans. It involves a magic carpet, and then from this point forward, he says he's going to scale these entrances back a little bit.
I'm just crushed, Jim. This may be the end of an era. Say it ain't so, Prince. What are you without an opening act? I wonder if he got a good deal on the carpet. Of course, his critics wish that the carpet would continue on to Iceland.
Among many stars in the crowd here tonight, Mick Jagger, Keith Richards, and Billy Wyman of the Rolling Stones. So if you see a magic carpet on that next big Stones tour, you'll know where they came up with the idea. There's Puffy Combs, a new buddy of Naz's and on his way into the ring. So how come Naz didn't wear Jennifer Lopez's dress?
One of a kind, takes a certain kind of nerve, even imagination, to put yourself out like that and make yourself such a target. I mean, after all, the claim is not that he's not a good fighter or even an outstanding fighter, but that he's just not as good as he says he is. What's more important? Is he as good as he says he is? Or is he as good as he is?
Hadn't tripped on that top rope yet. There's the record. 33 wins, no losses, no draws, 29 KOs after the long string of early knockouts. He has gone double digits in his last 3 fights. 12 rounds with McCullough, 11 rounds before the knockout of Ingle, 12 rounds in the last fight against Cesar Soto. He would like to do something quick and exciting to reward this big crowd here tonight. And Manny Stewart smiling in the background, but it hasn't been all smiles between Prince Naseem and Stewart this week. Stewart has been openly critical of the Prince for training on the island of Tenerife. As you watch this telecast, you can also log on to www.hbo.com/boxing to chat and score each round of the fight. You can stick around for an hour after the fight to chat with Steve Farhood if you're in the Eastern or Central time zones. And our website question tonight. Simple yes or no. Would you like to see Prince Naseem Hamed lose tonight? Yes, if you want to see him lose. No, if you don't. Now let's go up to ring announcer Michael Buffer for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, Barry Hearn and Prince Promotions in association with Golden Fist and Cedric Kushner Promotions present 12 rounds of boxing for the featherweight championship of the world. Sanctioned by the WBO President Francisco Barcarcel, supervisor ringside, Hall of Famer and former light heavyweight champion of the world, Jose Torres, and sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control, President Leonard Nipper Reed, timekeeper for this bout, Ray Rice. The three judges at ringside scoring this contest on the 10-point must system will be Henk Adrianze from Holland, Dave Paris from England, and Jose Roberto Torres from Puerto Rico. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action, working in the 128th time in a title bout, Joe Cortez from the United States. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from Grand Hall Olympia, London, England, for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing white and weighing in at 8 stone, 13½ pounds, or 125½ pounds. His professional record, an outstanding one, stands at 37 victories, including 19 by knockout, with only 2 losses, and in world title bouts, he is undefeated with 14 victories. From East London, South Africa, ladies and gentlemen, here is the challenger, the former undefeated super bantamweight champion of the world, Vuyani, the Beast, Bungu. And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent, fighting out of the opposite corner, the blue corner, who at this time would like to say something in the microphone.
Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم.
Introducing, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing leopard with Adidas trim, weighing 9 stone or 126 pounds. His professional record is a perfect one, consisting of 33 bouts, 33 victories, including 29 by knockout, and he is considered by many among the best pound for pound in the world today. Ladies and gentlemen, from Sheffield, England, presenting member of the British Empire, the reigning and defending, undefeated WBO featherweight champion of the world, Prince Naseem.
Naseem, Bungu, we went over the rules in the dressing room. I expect a good, clean fight. Protect yourselves at all time. Naseem, these trunks are a little high. Yours are a little high also. Give me a good, clean fight. Protect yourselves at all time. And remember, guys, I'm fair, but I'm firm. Understand? Touch them up.
Since we neglected to bring our Arab interpreter, I'll tell you what he said, Jim. I'm faster. I'm quicker. He doesn't have a chance. Bungu has heard that song before.
Incidentally, have you ever seen a fighter be given the opportunity to speak during pre-fight introductions by the ring announcer before?
Roy Jones may have done something like that. I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
No?
I think it's a first.
Now, if you travel around a lot, you'll hear boxers talk before the fight, even give speeches. It's almost typical.
Really?
Away from television.
Away from television. Well, Vuyani Bungu, coming off the longest layoff of his career, 13 months out of the ring. He gave up his 122-pound world championship and moved up in weight specifically for the opportunity of taking this fight. And, of course, he makes the biggest purse of his career tonight because of the opposition, Prince Naseem Hamed.
About $350,000.
A pittance compared to what Hamed collects, but nevertheless highly significant if you come from the kind of poverty that a afflicted Bungu's early life in South Africa. Naz fighting out of his southpaw stance and trying to land big shots from odd angles, as is his stock in trade. Bungu is also a fighter who fights at odd angles and often in machine gun bursts. Likes to get inside, pepper his opponent, and then move back away into a cocoon. Hard shot by Naseem as Bungu came in.
Bungu is one of those boxers that you really just got to get a knockout by coincidence. He's solid, keeps his feet spread, so he's never off balance.
But Naz's shots are hurting him here in the first round.
Naz has just got to be himself, get an occasional shot, turns and face to the side with the straight right hand.
When first we saw Prince Naseem, George, you pointed out how his extraordinary power comes from his legs.
He's got powerful legs. You look down, you don't see much on top. If you focus down below, you see strong calves and ankles.
Also give Hamed a chance to widen out and throw shots from unusual angles. They always say the punches that hurt you most are the ones you don't see coming. It's harder to see Naz's shots coming than is the case with a lot of other fighters.
Bungu being a solid boxer, likes to keep a guy knowing where he's going to be when he's jabbing, knowing where the right hand is going to land. He doesn't like reaching out into new territory.
Hard right hand by Bungu. Snap Naz's head back, and then there's another right across the Naseem jaw. And already we learned that there are significant numbers in the crowd who root against Hamed rather than for him here.
The Prince is a boxer that fights with his eyes. A lot of fighters go by rhythm, but he's looking at what he's doing.
Round one largely dominated by Prince Naseem's big shots. Bungu getting in the two right hands toward the end. In Naseem's corner tonight, some unusual activity.
You remember
Oscar Suarez, the man with that red and white cap on his head, is going to get in to talk to Naz after the first, third, fifth, seventh, ninth, and 11th rounds. Emmanuel Stewart will come in to talk to Naseem after the second, fourth, sixth, eighth, 10th, and 12th rounds, unless we are told Hamed gets in trouble, in which case Stewart is going to take over.
Okay, he's forgetting about the power now. If he's there, he's going to come, okay? So pick up.
You see what Bungu is doing already, crouching, moving, making himself a difficult target, and looking to land a counter as Hamed throws one of his big uppercuts.
Copy box numbers in round one. Hamed landing 23 out of 71, 32%. Bungu, 14 out of only 48 punches thrown, well below his average. This is an 80 punch per round guy who came out through 48 in the first round against the Prince. That's what Naseem's power and unorthodoxy can do to opponents.
Main thing, Bungu has got to stay focused on being solid. Don't reach out beyond his defense.
Emmanuel Stewart trying to get Prince Naseem Hamed to throw shorter shots and to focus more often on the body. And already here tonight, he's thrown more body punches than we sometimes see from the Prince.
Sometimes that's a difficult task when you see a boxer fights with his eyes. He needs to be out there away so he can look at what he's doing. You put him close, he loses his confidence. That's why there's going to be a difficult in making him move into short shots. He likes room out there.
And you got to get close to throw to the body. Naz with a big shot upstairs. Bungu crouching, working inside, lands that right hand counter. Kind of gets a little smile out of Naseem. Bungu's determination can be a big factor in his fights. On the undercard of Hamed McCullough in Atlantic City, Bungu seemed to trail in the early rounds against the more orthodox Danny Romero. But in the late rounds, Romero receded and Bungu came on. His activity level went up. He won the late rounds and won a close fight.
Keeps his hands up, throws them out, bring them right back to his chin. Understands that's power that he's up against. The guy like a Prince focusing on pot shot. You got to keep active, hit him every now and then, throw something.
Power shots for Naz, hurting Bungu more than he's been hurt in his previous fights at 122 pounds.
He's allowing the Naz to just stand back and look. You want to get close to him, make him back up and think about what he's doing.
He's got to find a way to get inside without having to be pot-shotted by Naseem Hamed as he does so.
You want to throw shots because if you just follow a punch around, you're going to get it.
A constant George Foreman aphorism, don't follow a puncher around the ring. Bungu has done it for 2 rounds and survived, but he's taken some tattooing for his trouble. And now Emmanuel Stewart comes into the ring for his first crack at talking to the Prince.
You got this guy's fighting you real tight. You see how he's fighting you. He's got you like a crab. He's not giving you any fucking room or nothing to punch at. He's fighting you real tight down here. Start backing him up. He got bad legs. In other words, start pushing him back and towing and banging. But the best shot,
you've got to make a double jab first, okay?
It's okay. Just a little. Stay still.
You've got to put him off balance first, all right? We are not putting him off balance. And I don't want you on the rope. What I need from you, Vito, you've got to make double jab, okay? Close the gap. We can only fight this minute.
We did not detect that cut during the round. It could be a bad one. On the left eye, blood already dripping near or perhaps even into that left eye on Bungu.
Emmanuel Stewart has told the Prince to back Bungu up, saying he doesn't have good legs.
But that is really not the Prince's style.
No, it's not in his nature. That's a hard thing to do, but it looks to me that he would like to give it a try.
The seriousness of the cut, evidenced by the fact that Umbi Munguni, Bungu's trainer, elected not to get into the ring in front of the fight at that time, but rather allowed the cut man, Paddy Byrne, to do so. Now Prince Naseem Hamed again backing Bungu up with big shots.
Bungu's just got to keep his head moved, keep his hands up, move in and jab the Prince in his chest. Stop aiming at his head.
Just to show how out of his own style Bungu has been forced here. This is a guy who averaged 84 punches around as a 122-pound fighter. In the first 2 rounds here, he averaged 46 punches per round. It's hard to throw when you know that Naz is coming back with those big shots.
Now he's aiming his shots into Prince's chest. That'll help out a little bit. If you aim for the chest, you'll get the chin.
Fighting with great confidence, already seems to have come to the conclusion that Bungu can't hurt him with the right hand.
And he's doing like his corner told him. He's backing Bungu up. I'm surprised at that.
Normally, Naz backs up and allows the opponent to come to him.
Body shot. Wicked right to the body by the Prince. That hurt.
He is hurting Bungu, both to the body and the head. Bungu looking wobblier than is usually the case, and throwing many fewer punches. Occasionally landing a clean right hand, but Hamed has been able to walk through them. Here's a left-hand shot landing for Bungu. And there's a hard left hand for the Prince, who turns around into a right-handed stance and fires a right cross. Now back to the southpaw stance.
The bad thing about about that with the Prince moving forward like that beyond his nature. If the fight goes beyond 6 or 7 rounds, he'll have to pay the cost for that.
And what will be the price, George?
Well, you're using muscles that you're not accustomed to, nor do you like to use. And you won't have those muscles to protect you.
No trouble from Bungu's cut left eye in that round. Only from Hamed's
There are two things.
fist.
Don't just stay in front unnecessary, okay? It's either we're close with him or we're out of him, okay? Little, okay? When we go to him and work under. Don't try and move back because he's catching us when we move back, okay? Rather stay inside, or to move outside completely, okay?
In that jab, all right? Now, if you're going to pick punches, you're going to follow, okay? Yep. It's not only one shot. We want 2 and 3 shots, okay? Now, remember, don't
catch him with a body shot. There you go.
Beautiful. You're working excellent.
Body shot and touch him with the right hand as soon as you bang him.
You're working excellent that body, okay? But remember, I want that jab more consistent, okay, Habub? Okay, we're going to follow with that hook a little more, all right?
Round 4. Advice from Bungu's corner, either get in his chest or try to stay outside of his range. Don't stand in the middle where you can be hit.
Harold Letterman, how do you have it scored so far?
Jim, 3-0. 30-27, Prince Naseem Hamed. You know, Jim, southpaws don't have great right hands generally. The Prince has got a vicious right hook, and he's been murdering Bungu with it, in addition to that great straight left hand. You can't take it away from the Prince. Really winning easily on good, clean punching.
Well, his style is so unusual. I mean, why call him a southpaw? He's really an ambidextrous puncher.
Very ambidextrous, Jim, a lot like Pernell Whitaker.
He tends to square his feet from time to time. He throws power shots equally well from either side. He's really neither fish nor fowl in terms of southpaw or conventional fighter.
One theory I've heard expressed about why he hasn't seriously hurt or stopped recent opponents, a theory I don't necessarily subscribe to, is that since his fight with Kevin Kelly when he was knocked down 3 times, he's unwilling to fully commit to those big punches anymore. Do you see any of that, George?
Not at all. As a matter of fact, this guy's, I've seen him dig into the body, and he's sticking his head right out there for another left hook.
I think a better explanation, if you want to be charitable to the Prince, I mean, if you're on the Prince's side, one explanation is that both McCullough and Soto fought to survive. Down goes Bungu on a left-hand shot up the middle.
There goes that theory, which I didn't subscribe to, and certainly don't now.
And Vuyani Bungu is knocked out for the first time in his career. Certainly never in his career did he face the kind of firepower that he saw tonight.
As the Prince regained not just his magic carpet, but his magic, George.
This was a solid boxer. He knocked out. That you can't regain it any better than that. The guy is on top. If ever he was down, he's on top and a little bit more.
That was what he was looking for. That was a terrific, convincing performance against a solid professional fighter. That was a fight in which Hamed showed that he's making progress towards some of the things Stewart wants from him in terms of being a better fighter.
Now, if the critics continuously criticize him, it's because it's fashionable to criticize such a guy. This guy has the package.
Well, it may be fashionable, George, but I think the criticism is probably making him a better fighter.
Amen. I believe that, too.
And I'll reemphasize my point. I think both Soto and McCullough fought to survive. Bungu didn't, and he got knocked out. Let's take another look, Larry.
Straight left hand threaded through Bungu's defense, a defense that helped him win 14 championship fights before this.
At 122 pounds rather than 126.
And the good thing about this, the Prince did it in his style. He wasn't going forward. He was boxing, picking him apart, and here we go. Boom.
That's the same straight left hand that finished the fight against Kevin Kelly December of '97 in New York. That's the punch that made Hamed a media star in the United States. There it is again.
The song is, I've got to be me. And if as long as he himself, he'll get these knockouts all the time.
Well, if opponents come to fight.
Well,
if opponents come to survive, even the great punchers can't do that much about it.
I agree with you. Certainly Soto was there to survive. His McCullough's just got the hardest chin there
McCullough's
is.
got a rock hard chin. McCullough went the distance against Eric Morales too. Point made.
His corner was able to communicate with him to take it easy. Take your time. Keep the jab out there. He did it.
Well, it was an easy fight. And a relaxed Prince Naseem Hamed did what the crowd and the boxing public have been looking for. So now, that sets up some big-time possibilities, because we are still looking down the road toward possible fights with Eric Morales, Marco Antonio Barrera, and Emmanuel Stewart says someday we're going to go up to 130 pounds and fight Floyd Mayweather Jr. What a battle that could be. Let's go up to Michael Buffer for the official particulars on the knockout.
Ladies and gentlemen, this contest comes to an end as referee Joe Cortez reaches the count of 10. The official time, 1 minute, 38 seconds of round number 4. The winner, and still the reigning, undefeated WBO featherweight champion of the world, the pride of Sheffield, England, Prince Naseem Hamed.
Final punch stat numbers. The ultra unconventional Prince Naseem Hamed landing at a relatively low percentage. Bungu right there in range of where he normally lands, 28%, but throwing about half as many punches as he would normally have thrown in that tour of duty in the ring. And why was Bungu not throwing much? Because when you're facing the Prince's power, you don't like what's coming back when you put your arms out in front of you. And Naz settled this fight with his formidable power, particularly off the left side. Now let's go to Larry Merchant at ringside with the Prince.
Congratulations, Prince. An important victory for you, I know. But let's start from the beginning. What did you say before the fight started on the loudspeaker system, and why did you feel compelled to do that?
I'll tell you what I said. I said, Allahu Akbar. God is great. God is the biggest, because I'm a Muslim and I acknowledge there's one God. You know, there's one God and one God only. I'm a Muslim.
Why did you feel you have to say that tonight?
I just felt that gives me awesome power through the whole of my bones. I'm talking about from my muscles, my heart. My heart gets twice as big. And I actually said too that, and there is one final messenger that he sent down, and that was Muhammad, peace be on him.
What was your advantage, did you feel, going into this fight against Bungu, who is such a respected opponent?
For me, I thought Bungu was such a great fight before the fight. He'd boxed everybody basically, and he'd done such a job on McKinney. Everybody knows him. He's so credible, and I thought, I want to prove myself against a great fighter. And basically, him winning a world title and having it 8 years, for me that says it all. And I wanted to prove that there's nobody in the world that can dispose with such a man the way I did.
Let's take a look at the knockout, and you tell us what led up to it and what happened.
Well, you're looking here, I've got him on his blind side, and there's a straight left straight through. I mean, and that just took him completely out. This guy got stretched.
Some of your critics here in Britain were saying that since the Kevin Kelly fight, you were unwilling to fully commit to your knockout punches, which may have accounted for some of the decisions you've had. What is your response to that?
My response is that is completely BS. I don't want to say the full word on HBO, because I love HBO. They pay my wages. But at the end of the day, I ain't lost no power whatsoever. I mean, being trained now by Oscar Suarez for 6-7 weeks. Manny Stewart there in my corner. Manny Stewart being with us, with all the knowledge that he knows and the advice that he gave me. I mean, you've seen it in the ring. I worked to instructions, and I did what I had to do and took him out.
Can't we give just a little credit for restoring your magic to the magic carpet you came in on tonight?
Most definitely. I told all your guys that this final entrance is going to be one unbelievable entrance.
But why should you make this a final entrance? Why, if it worked so well?
Don't get me wrong, right? You see me so focused in there, ready to do business, in which I did. Took a world-class fighter out there, never been knocked out or stopped or put down, out in 4 rounds. Come on, baby, talk to me. Now, all I'm saying to you is this: entrances aren't going to stop. It's the fact that I'm going to tone them down a little bit. Tonight, I wanted something special for the English public. I'm in London, in the capital, and I always shine in London.
Toning
Larry.
it down, that's like...
I always shine in London,
That's
baby.
like Roy Rogers riding on a pony. Finally,
Do that.
Eric Morales is out there, Barrera is out there, Kevin Kelly, who you had a great fight with, is out there.
Kevin Kelly's washed up. I brung the girl out of him that night. He don't want to fight me again. He got beat by a bum. If Kevin Kelly's watching this fight, he knows I still got the respect for him. But the fact is,
you know
he
that
ain't
Kevin...
on my level. I will destroy that boy.
Well, then why won't you fight him? But beyond that, would you fight Morales or Barrera?
I'll tell you what, let's talk about a guy that's undefeated. A guy that in America is seen as one of the best, if not one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world, Eric Morales.
Do you feel...
That's who I want.
Do you feel that a victory over Morales would win over completely all of your critics?
Come on, Larry. Talk to me. What do you think, baby? You know, once I knock Eric Morales out and beat him in style, they're going to make me #1 pound-for-pound champion, best fighter in the world, and that's what I want. I'm looking now. I'm looking to shine, and I want the credit that I deserve. I've been world champion nearly about 5 years now. Come on. They've got to give it me now.
Thank you very much, Prince.
More than welcome.
Jim?
The scoring of the 3 judges through the first 3 rounds, identical to that of Harold Letterman, and probably pretty easy for all of you at home as well. Those rounds were one-sided, and Prince Naseem Hamed had won them all. Big crowd, star-studded. Puffy Combs, you saw, walking to ringside with Prince Naseem. The Rolling Stones were here. Jude Law, Kate Moss, a variety of others. All of them here to celebrate a victory by Prince Naseem Hamed, and the kind of victory, George, that he was looking for. In the last 2 fights against both Ingle and Soto, you worried that with the new training situation, he was a little bit caught between styles. Still a problem?
I think that spending some time with the extra trainer away from Emmanuel Stewart may have helped him a lot more than you would imagine. Emmanuel Stewart, his expertise in the corner, helped tonight. But being out of training camp probably was the major plus for the Prince. He moved around, and he was foxy. He even blindsided his opponent. These are things that I hadn't seen in years with the Prince.
So maybe a situation that looks awkward with 2 trainers competing for space and credit is actually good for Naz.
Well, it's good if they cooperate and do what he asked them to do.
All right, well, we'll see if they can continue to do that over a period of time. Meanwhile, rejoined now by Larry Merchant, and I'll put to you the same question that Naz did. Suppose he takes on Eric Morales and beats him. Will that settle the criticism once and for all?
I think if he beats Morales, especially if he beats him in a decisive fashion as he did tonight, that yes, that would mark him as really the best of his time and perhaps one of the more exciting fighters of his time. But still, with all of his tumult and all of his magic carpet riding, he's an acquired taste that a lot of people don't want to acquire, like kumquats, you know. But he's here. He proved again tonight that he is a real fighter. Maybe not the fighter that he says he is, because nobody is that fighter, but a pretty good fighter anyway.
Kumquats are good for you, and they pack a wallop. Naz, love him or hate him, is good for boxing, and as you saw again tonight, he packs a wallop. We'll have a final word on what happened in the ring here in just a moment. Let's look ahead to some upcoming programs on HBO.
Continental 962 Heavy, turn left heading 140.
In the ultimate high-pressure job, Nick Falzone was in control of everyone's life.
Welcome to my sky.
But his own.
I got a buddy who told me this guy was the best controller he ever seen.
He's sort of interesting. I love my husband.
I love my wife. Go home, play with the wife. Yeah. Just make sure it's your wife. Human beings can tolerate a lot of pain.
We work together.
John Cusack, Billy Bob Thornton, Kate Blanchett, Angelina Jolie.
Are there people who find you charming?
Pushing 10.
I want my wife back.
Premieres Saturday, March 18th on HBO.
As the chill of night sets in, those with the heart and soul are about to turn up the heat. HBO Boxing After Dark is back with world super featherweight champ Floyd Mayweather. Now with his title on the line, can his blazing speed and skill douse the burning desire of top contender Goyo Vargas? Plus, junior lightweight champ Diego Corrales is fired up for a title defense against power-punching Derek Smoke Gaynor. It all happens live. Saturday, March 18th. HBO Boxing After Dark.
Join us March 20 for the premiere of Real Sports with Bryant Gumbel when Frank DeFord goes one-on-one with college basketball's Bobby Knight. Real Sports where nothing is out of bounds. On April 17, HBO and Sports of the 20th Century present Bill Russell, My Life, My Way, a documentary that explores the life, philosophies, and principles of one of the most compelling figures ever to play any American team sport. Tonight, here in Olympia Hall in London, you saw excitement. First of all, the pitched battle between Irish Mickey Ward and Shea Neary. Neary giving as good as he got in the first 7 rounds, but then Ward loading him over with left-hand power shots in the 8th round, en route to an 8th round TKO. Big victory for Mickey Ward, sets him up for business down the road. And another man who's set up for big business down the road, Prince Naseem Hamed, who shook off criticism from 3 straight performances that had gone double-digit rounds and knocked out Vuyani Bungu, one of the most qualified opponents of his career, in the 4th round. Big fireworks from the Prince. Coming up immediately after tonight's coverage of World Championship Boxing, stay tuned for HBO Comedy Half Hour, Jeff Garlin, followed by The Sopranos. So now for George Foreman and Larry Merchant and Harold Letterman, I'm Jim Lampley saying so long from the Olympia in London, England. The executive producer of HBO Sports is Ross Greenberg. Tonight's telecast of World Championship Boxing was produced by Rick Bernstein and directed by Mark Payton. The associate directors, Greg Backer, Thomas Erdelfelt, and Max Siegel. Assistant to the producer, Thomas Huffine. The production manager was Mark Hayden. The technical supervisor, Bob Hunter. And the technical director was Doug Getz.
This has been a presentation of HBO Sports, the network of champions.